Man, Armored Core 6 is really just one of those games, huh? I haven't picked up the game in months, but almost every single day I still think about Armored Core 6. I had picked it up at launch because it's a From Software game, and I've loved every single thing they've made, from Demon Souls up until this point. Also, the fact that I've always wanted to get into Armored Core, it's just that getting your hands on a lot of the older games is pretty tough. The easiest way to do so nowadays is through emulation, and even then, most of the Armored Core games don't exactly run the best on emulator, so I just decided to wait and pick up AC6 when it dropped. And even then, I was still very skeptical on if I'd like the game. The UI looked super intimidating, and I'd never played a mech game before, even though I am interested in mechs, like I think they're cool, but it's just the gameplay had me very skeptical, to say the least, on if I would click with the game. And needless to say, it was by far my biggest surprise of 2023. Not only did I click with the game, I absolutely love and adore it. This game has lived in my head rent-free for months at this point, despite not having played it since 2 weeks or so after launch. It just does so many things differently from modern games, and it kind of feels like a throwback to older PlayStation 2 titles, especially with stuff like the mission structure, where you literally just go to the menu and you pick a mission. We don't really get that very often nowadays anymore. Most games these days, there's an open world or a hub world or something, or it's like semi-open world, kind of like a Metroidvania, and you have to go to a checkpoint or a marker on the map or something like that. It's just so nice and kind of nostalgic to be able to just open a menu and pick the mission, and then that's just it. You just start the mission right then and there. And then playing around with all of the different builds as well. There's so much build variety in this game, and one thing I really like about AC6 that I actually prefer over the Souls games is that in the Souls games, since you can level up all your stats, I never really make a build in those games. I just level up every single stat to like 50, so I can just use like everything in the game, and I never make a different character or anything like that. I just replay the game over and over with that one character, and I just make them good at literally everything, so I can use everything in the game. AC6, you can't do that. You have to specialize in something. You can kind of make a build that's decent at most things, but you're not going to be able to use every single weapon type or be great at every single thing in the game. And that's one thing I really appreciated about AC6. Also, the visuals are stunning. I love how Rubicon looks. The soundtrack is just so damn great. We got a new fan favorite character in V4 Rusty, one of the best Souls or From Software characters in a really long time, in my opinion. And the bosses are so good. They're so much fun to fight. Sometimes I will load into a mission, get to the boss, and I'll just practice the boss over and over and over again, just learning their attacks, learning how to, defeat them faster or in like the most optimal way with what my build is. This game also probably has some of the best and most fluid movement of any game, in my opinion. Like, it just feels so good to fly around, jump over enemies, like side strafe them and stuff while shooting. It's just so good. It's like just non-stop movement during combat. All of the different weapons are so damn cool, especially the melee weapons. The melee weapons are definitely the highlight in my opinion. My personal favorite is like, I forget what it's called, but it's the laser like dual blade or staff, and it hits so hard and it has this really long combo that just is the most satisfying thing to land in the game, in my opinion. It's a real shame that it wasn't nominated for Game of the Year, though I did see it coming. I mean, it's a very niche type of game, very niche genre. And while Elden Ring did win Game of the Year, that's only because of the previous success and word of mouth and high praise all of the other previous Souls games have garnered over a decade. Whereas Armored Core, on the other hand, it's been asleep for a while. It's been in hiatus for a long time. So maybe we can see a Armored Core game be nominated for Game of the Year sometime in the future. And I have a feeling that FromSoft is going to do the same thing with Armored Core that they did with their Souls games, which is where they continuously improve on all of their mechanics and all of their ideas in every single sequel, and it'll slowly garner that bigger fan base through word of mouth and good reviews and stuff like that. And eventually, maybe one day we can see an Armored Core game reach that Game of the Year status. But I am really happy that it won Action Game of the Year. I think that was completely deserved. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this was just an excuse for me to talk about AC6. I've just been thinking about it recently, and it's just like, wow, that game was so good. Like, it just really was. It completely surpassed all of my expectations. It surprised me in so many different ways. It was such a breath of fresh air in the modern gaming landscape as a whole. Just Man, overall, just such a great game. If you haven't played it yet, obviously, if you're watching this video, you can probably tell that I highly recommend it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very short video, but if you guys enjoyed, make sure you like, subscribe, help my channel in the algorithm, all that stuff. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.